I told you that estrangement wasn't entirely your fault? Would you believe me? What if I told you it wasn't theirs either? Would you still believe me? Now what if I told you that even that doesn't matter as much as something else? That's what we're going to be talking about today. It's never just one person's fault, and it's never just about one thing. The problem is so much bigger, so much deeper, and so much more complex than can be distilled into a single video or soundbite. If you've ever been caught in the confusion and the chaos and the pain of estrangement, wondering what went wrong or trying to decode the silence, I want you to know this. You're not alone. You're not crazy. The pain is real. This stuff is hard and it hurts. There's a lot of noise out there that points fingers and offers quick answers. Unless you've been hiding under a rock, you've likely heard theories about all kinds of things, from social media to toxic therapy to someone else got involved, or a myriad of other outside influences that cause the problem. Admittedly, some of that can sound pretty good on the surface. But here's the problem. Social media especially is often just a mirror. What we see and what ends up in our feeds is often just a reflection of our own thoughts, beliefs, and values. After living this estrangement situation from all sides, I believe the cause of it is far less important to understand than the solutions. Blame games are a dead-end road, my friend. They will get you absolutely nowhere except frustrated and even more hurt. All they do is create loops that keep you stuck and spinning rather than helping you step forward and understand what's possible. What I know for sure is that you don't need another theory about what caused it. You don't need to know what broke it. You need a path forward. That's what I'm here to share with you. I don't offer band-aids. I don't offer accusations. I try and stay away from the polarity of all of it. But I do try to offer real, actionable steps that are rooted in truth and healing and emotional maturity, regardless of whatever fancy new theories or terminology comes up out there. The real reason these problems happen is because something was already amiss in the relationship inside of the family system. Anything else that people might say contributes to it merely shines a spotlight on the problem and exposes the cracks that are already there. All that stuff might indeed have a place in the story, but it's not the whole story, and it certainly won't lead to positive changes or solutions. And I promise, if healing is what you want for yourself, for your relationships, and to not repeat this ever again, the more important thing to focus on is solutions. It honestly doesn't matter what the other person does or doesn't do. It doesn't matter what happened. In all honesty, there's probably more than enough pain and hurt and sorrow and accusations to be spread around in a wide path. What I want you to understand, though, is that dysfunction doesn't happen in a vacuum. It doesn't just randomly come out of nowhere and suck people in. No one, and I mean no one, suddenly walks away from a safe, stable, secure, happy family where genuine love and mutual trust abound. It just doesn't happen. Those bonds are some of the strongest bonds in the world, and when they are truly strong, they're unbreakable. Unfortunately, there's a lot of dysfunction out there, and it happens inside family systems where there's blurry roles, emotional neglect, lack of boundaries, communication breakdowns, unmet needs, and unhealed trauma. Those problems usually exist on both sides of the issue. They've probably been going on for many years, maybe even generations. It's happened for so long and so often that it probably even seems and feels normal. Maybe you thought you were the best parent in the world. You gave your kids everything. You provided every opportunity. And maybe you thought you were the most loving, giving person in the world. And I hope that's true that you were. But if the other person on the other side couldn't feel it, couldn't receive it, couldn't understand it, it was something else. And the only way that's ever going to be fixed is if we look for solutions within ourselves and within the context of things that actually break family relationships. If things broke, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean you did all these horrible things wrong. Nor does it mean that you need to be quiet or passively tolerate disrespect or abuse. It just means that if you ever want things to change and you want any chance of ever having the relationships repair or reconcile with that person you're currently estranged from, we have to address the real things that broke it. I have some super neat, laser-focused intensive coaching programs that can help you do just that. I also have a free guide called Reclaiming Peace After Estrangement. That can also help you get started with simple, doable things you can start right away. I promise you can do that on your own. You can do it even if the other person isn't ready, even if the other person never ever comes around, or they want to continue dysfunctional stories. You can still begin to take ownership without carrying all the guilt, and you can begin healing things on your side of the fence and creating real and lasting peace for yourself, regardless of what they're doing or if a reconciliation ever happens. Maybe you're not at a point where you even want that to happen, and that is totally okay. I get that there's a lot of talk about parental alienation and family canceling and erasing and therapy poisoning, and the list is dizzying. But here's what a lot of people don't want to admit. Estrangement isn't just about a broken relationship, and it's certainly not just because of some random third-party influence. It's a broken dynamic. It's a broken family system in which every single member contributes. Your child, your spouse, their partners, siblings, even great Aunt Martha, who seems to just be quietly on the outskirts. Yeah, she played a part too. Everyone does. And the things that broke that system or that caused the friction in that system don't change by waiting around for somebody else to do the work or for them to get with the program and come around. They change when one person chooses to break the cycle, to do something different, to show up differently, to behave in a different way, hopefully healthier and more grounded ways. And that person can be you. And I hope it is you. Doing any of those things don't mean that we excuse abuse. They don't change the story, and nor do they simply pretend that everything was fine. They're absolutely about choosing peace, choosing maturity, and choosing to see something from a different light that might actually make some positive changes. Yes, it's probably also going to mean being honest with yourself and probably others as well about what you brought to the table, and then deciding to bring something different, something healthier, and something better going forward. If you made it this far and you're still listening to me, you're already showing more emotional courage than most people ever will. And that's to be commended. You're already doing the work, and that matters. What we've talked about today is just the beginning, because once you start to step outside of the blame loops and into healing, the next question a lot of people have is, okay, but how do I fix this? How do I connect and build trust if they're not talking to me? Or if every conversation still ends in a blow up? That's exactly why I created this next video, all about why a simple apology or even a heartfelt conversation isn't going to be enough to repair estrangement. And it talks about exactly what you need to know and what you need to do instead to keep moving forward. So go ahead and watch that next video. I'll see you over there.